All right, guys, you got this. Let's go. Gun right, triple E. Close that go. On one, on one.
Ready?
Ready.
What's up, guys? It's Pick'em with HuddleGG, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Huddle. If you guys are new here, this is a series that we do each week where we answer your guys' questions. So if you have a question that you would like answered in a future video, wherever you're watching this, just make sure you leave that question in the comment section below, and we will do our very best to get to that. If you do not see that question being answered in a future episode, you can always join our free Discord as well by going to HuddleGG/Discord, and we do answer your questions in there also. So with that being said, let's dive right into this week's episode. And the first question today comes from DeMarcus, and they ask, how do you stop whips out of bunch tight end? Now, this is a play that's been popular the majority of the year. We're going to show you two ways that we can stop this or slow this down. The first one's going to be very aggressive, and it's going to be when we know they're running this play, right? Defensively, it's really important to understand, am I trying to take away this one play no matter what? Or am I trying to take away that play, be safe still on the back end, right? Because if you're knowing what play your opponent's running every single time, it's going to be easy to play defense, right? The problem comes when we think we know what they're doing and then we are leaving ourselves vulnerable to other plays in the playbook. But again, if we know this play is coming, right? So people love to run this on 3rd and 5 every single time, or it's 4th and 4 and they've went to this play 6 times this game and it's the 7th time and you're like, all right, I know they're running this play. That's what this first setup's going to be for. And what we want to do here on our coaching adjustments is we want to go down to zone drops and we want to put hooks on 5. Now from there, we are just going to come out in any Tampa 2. I like to run nickel 3-3 odd. It's our favorite, one of our favorite formations here at Huddle. So again, we're going to be a nickel 3-3 odd. And what we want to do here is I'm going to set up my pass rush. So what I like to do is I like to show blitz and then I like to shift my line away from that standing outside linebacker just to create a little bit better pass rush angles. But again, that does not help the actual play. That just gives me a little bit better pass rush. In terms of the play itself, all you need to do is shade to the outside. Okay, so come out in Tampa 2, shade to the outside, and that's what we want to do. We want to user the safety on the side of the tight end, and we're going to show you why. Is a lot of the times what a setup you'll see is going to be a flat to that middle receiver and then a post to the X with that double whips from the tight end and the B. And you can see we have a whip flat combination to both sides of the field with the running back and the Y running those flats, and then they have that post. Now, the great thing about using this safety here to the tight end side is as soon as that tight end establishes that he's running the whip route, we don't really have to help out anymore over the top to our side, and we can help with that post coming from the bunch side of the field. Okay, so what it's going to look like here is when they go to say hike, we see that tight end break to the inside. We're now looking over the top to help with that post, and you're going to see that we have this shut down everywhere across the field. And if we run it one more time, what we want to do is we just want to shade to the outside. We're going to user this safety here that is on the side of the tight end. And if they set up that same route combination, what you're going to see is, again, as soon as we see that tight end established to the inside, we're now going to help out on that post. And if we go look at the replay, you're going to see how this shuts down this play very well and very consistently. Again, our flats here to the outside are going to help with the flat routes. So again, our cloud flat over there. Again, here, you could always shade down this cloud flat. I'm going to let them throw it behind the line of scrimmage to the running back time and time again. I do not care if they take that. What you'll find is most people will get impatient. They don't want to throw it behind the line of scrimmage every time. And then they're going to throw it down the field more and throw into our coverages. And that's, again, a mentality that I've had on defense for a long time. But again, you're going to see here with our user, right? As soon as this guy breaks to the inside, we know we don't have to cover him vertically anymore. We can now work our way over to help out with this post, right? Because this post will get underneath the safety to the left and start to break to our side. Let's just take that away with our user. And you're going to see here that these 3 underneath yellows plus the outside flats do a good job of taking away those whip routes. Again, there's a very, very late angle. They can try to throw it over here, but again, we have a flat route over here waiting. If we have a flat zone KO, you can always click on, get that hit and knock that ball out as well. If you would feel more comfortable, excuse me, if you would feel more comfortable, you could always user this guy here as well, right? You could use the guy to the bunch side. The problem with that is this post would then come open. So if you're good at switch sticking, you can always start out on this player and then switch stick back to the safety and take away both routes at once. But again, I know not everyone is very comfortable with the switch stick, so that's something that's going to be a little bit more advanced for you, again, depending on your level defensively. Now, if you are trying to play this a little bit safer on the defensive end, what we're going to do is we're just going to come out in a cover 4 drop play. Okay, so we're going to come out in a cover 4 drop play. And I like to user the linebacker on the side of the tight end here as well. All I'm going to do really is shade down. Now, the reason why I like to use this tight end or the yellow zone over here on the tight end side is because I actually like to blitz a fourth player. A lot of your cover 4 drops, I think all of your cover 4 drops in this game actually only have 3 people rushing. I want to send a fourth. So here again, I am going to cover the tight end with the right of screen and then help out with that running back as well. Still like to shade to the outside. What you're going to see here is if they go to set up that same route combination, right, where they have that flat in the post, we're just going to sit here in the middle, and then we're going to break this way, allow that pressure to come in, and you can see we still have nice coverage to the left side of the field because we have our hard flat and we have our 5-yard yellow. So you can see over here, this linebacker does a good job with the shade outside to be in that window to take away that whip, and then we're going to take away this one. And again, like I said, if they want to throw this running back behind the line of scrimmage, more power to them. Take that every single time. We rally, we make the tackle, and this is going to be a nice way to slow this play down. And if you want to get super aggressive, look to use that Tampa 2 setup. Our next question today comes from Andrew Hayden, and they ask, how do you like to block mid blitz using your running back? This is a great question, and it's all dependent on where the user is standing. Okay, and are they bringing that 7th defender down into the box to mug the gap? What I mean by that is a lot of times people are going to take the safety whose responsibility is the running back, and they're going to bring him down here to confuse our offensive line and make it look like they're actually sending 7. Okay, now before we get into how to block that, if they're not bringing that safety down and they're just running normal mid blitz here, what we want to do is we want to block our running back and we want to full slide away from the running back. This is what our blocking setup should look like. When we go to say hike, you're going to see that we get a hat on a hat, and that's going to give us the time that we would need to throw the ball. Now, you do need to understand you still will have to throw the ball fairly quickly because we're getting all one-on-one blocks here with this defense, right? They're sending 6 people, we're blocking 6. One of those 6 is going to be our running back, so they're not going to hold up forever. But anytime we're talking about blitz pickup here at Huddle, we always talk about a hat on a hat, making sure that everybody is targeted properly. You can see right here, every single blitzer that they're sending is being targeted by somebody and is being blocked. At that point, it's all dependent on our abilities and our ratings and can we hold up long enough, again, before they get that shed on the defensive line. Okay, but again, just understand you want to get rid of the ball fairly quickly still when you're facing this blitz, any cover 0 blitz really, because you're not going to have all day, even if you do pick it up properly. Okay, now with that being said, the next one we want to talk about is when they bring this user down and they stand him somewhere here in the middle. Okay, so when they're standing him here somewhere in the middle, what we want to do is we want to block our running back. We want to half slide towards the running back, and then we're going to ID the user. Okay, so what you're going to see here is you should have your blocking setup look like this, where the user is targeting, or where the running back is targeting the user, and then that left of screen edge rusher is going to have the flame icon above his head. What you're going to see is the running back's going to shuffle to the middle of the field first to pick up that user. Once he realizes that user is not blitzing, he's then going to completely go to the left side of the field and get that edge rusher with the flame icon above his head. So what it's going to look like here is when we go to say hike, you're going to see that he's going to shift over there, pick that up, and that would give us the time that we need to make those quick hitters. Again, make sure you are putting routes on the field that will attack this quickly. Now, we've talked about curls, speed outs, things like that, whips. We've talked about it in recent episodes if you want to go check those out and how we like to throw those. Again, those are really good options and something you want to attack with if you are facing cover 0. Again, what you're going to see is the running back's first responsibility was the user, but once he knows the user is not blitzing, he is then going to shuffle all the way to the left side of the field here, pick up that edge rusher off the left, and you can see once again we have a hat on a hat and we are picking up everybody on this blitz. Now the last one, and this is actually something that someone brought up to us last week, and we had to find a way to stop this one because this is a new way that people were running this, and they were bringing the safety down and standing him over the right tackle here, okay, right over the running back. Now what we want to do here is we don't want to do the same setup we just did, because if we do the same setup we just did, what you'll see is if we block the running back, half slide towards him, and ID the user, like we talked about when he's standing in the middle, what you're going to see is the running back never gets back to the left side of the field. Okay, so he's never going to get back to the left to get that edge rusher. So what we want to do when they are bringing the safety down and standing him over the tackle is we're still going to, again, have that running back blocked. We are going to half slide away from the running back, and we're going to ID the outside rusher here. So you're going to see it's going to leave the user unblocked. That's exactly what we want to do. The user, again, is not blitzing. He is just coming down here to confuse our offensive line. So again, when they're standing over the tackle, we're going to block the running back, half slide away from the running back, and ID the edge rusher to the running back side, just like this. This is what your blocking setup should look like. And then when we go to say hike, you're going to see that once again, we have a hat on a hat, and we were able to pick up everybody on the field. And as I've said the first 2 times, make sure you have quick routes on the field that you can attack with, because you're not going to have all day. They're going to get sheds. They're going to get in. But you can see here, again, we were able to pick this up perfectly. We got a hat on a hat. Everybody is targeted properly. Again, at that point, it just comes down to our sheds. You can see here, we should have just taken this quick little out route. Again, we're really focusing on the blocking here. But you can see, quick little out route, we had plenty of enough time to throw. We would have even had time to throw the in route there as well before the pressure was getting in. So again, just make sure you have those routes set up on the field. Like I said, curls, whips, speed outs do a great job against cover 0. Make sure you're using one of these blocking pickups, and you're going to be able to have enough time in the pocket to have that comfortability to get that ball down the field. Our next question today comes from Lauderdale, and they ask, are there any blitzes you like out of the 4-3 over formation? Now, this is a great question. Actually had us digging into our game plan from last year out of the New Orleans Saints playbook. We talked about 4-3 over, and this blitz that we're going to talk about today works the exact same way as it was designed last year. So again, if you ever think, oh, it's a last year's game plan, it doesn't work, that is not true. A lot of the concepts in there still will and can work. You just got to test them out to make sure that they do. So what we want to do here in 4-3 over is we want to go to our coaching adjustments first. We want auto flip off, and we want auto alignment set to base. Now, we are going to be in Tampa 2, but we want to call the play flipped. Okay, so flip the play, call Tampa 2. Now, I want you to see the depth of the middle linebacker right now. You see how he's at about 6 to 7 yards deep from the line of scrimmage? We want to get him a little bit closer. Now, the way that we do that is we're going to blitz him because he is going to be the guy that we're getting pressure with. And we're going to drag him down until we see the green bars above his head, and then we're going to click off of him. Okay, now you see that he goes back to that 4.5 yard depth, which is a lot better position for us to get this blitz to work. Now from there, we're going to use this right of screen linebacker, and we're just going to bring him down over the right tackle and stand there with the green bars above our head. Now, we do not need to run into the guard, run into the tackle, and do the disengage blitz that a lot of people are doing this year. We can peel back and cover our zone once they say hike. So again, you're just going to cover this yellow area of the field that it shows here with your zone. Now from there, again, that's all we need to do for the setup. It's very simple. It's very quick. When they go to say hike, we're just going to go play our area of the field, and you're going to see we're able to get that middle linebacker through that left A gap really quickly, and it's going to be really hard for your opponent to find anything open before that pressure is getting in. And I want to show you why this blitz is working. All right, so if we look at the offensive line here, okay, so the offensive line, their job is to target the 5 most immediate threats to the quarterback. You're going to see that's going to be the 4 down linemen and now our user, because we have brought him down towards the line. So a lot of people wonder why these blitzes work, and they complain that they're broken, but there is a method behind why these work, and it also helps us understand how we can block them. And we have a great blocking guide over at Huddle if you want to go check that out, where we talk about how blocking works, why blocking works, and how we can block the meta as well. But that's why this blitz is working, because we are taking the attention of the offensive line. So what you're going to see is when they say hike, that right guard's first steps are going to be over towards us, which means the center is responsible for the D tackle. Now the D tackle is going to hold that center just long enough to allow our blitzer to get through that A gap and get into the backfield to get that quarterback. Now what you'll see occasionally is that center will peel off and pick up our blitzer, but we still have really good angles at that point where we're able to still get quick pressure. But what you're going to see here is, again, that D tackle is going to take the attention and take that center out of the play. The guard cannot get all the way back to the left side of the field to pick this up. He's actually going to target to help out that center and then try to pass off that block where the center would then get to the blitzer. But it's too late by the time our blitzer gets through that A gap. And you can see, again, because we were able to take the attention of that right guard to start the play, gets him out of the play, and now essentially we're just doing an overload to the left side where we're sending 4 people, they only have 3 people there to block, and we're able to get that quick and easy sack there in the backfield. Our last question today comes from Frederick, and they ask, what's the best defense for you trips? Now, this is a loaded question and not one that I can entirely answer in a video like this, because defense is all dependent on what our opponent is running. Right? If they're running a specific setup, a defense, I tell you, may not work against that, but it could work against 2 other things, right? So in terms of defending an entire formation, there's a lot of things you'll have to do defensively to do that. But what we like to do defensively is set up a defense that will stop one of the more popular plays and then adjust off of that, right? So again, you don't want to give up the popular and the meta plays that people are going to run out of these. So you want to set up a defense that's really good against that. And then again, you do need to adjust from there. So don't take this play that I'm going to show you and say, okay, that's going to stop every play that my opponent runs in U-trips. That is not true. And if somebody tells you that, they are lying to you, I promise. Now, what we are going to talk about today, though, is something that I like to run against one of the more popular plays, and it's going to be Y option wheel. Okay, so Y option wheel is a really popular play that people like out of U-trips. And what we want to do is we want to come out and cover 3 Buzz Mabel. You do need to make sure that your zone drops are all set to default, because we do want to take advantage of the matching principles in this play. Now, when we come out and cover 3 Buzz Mabel, the play that a lot of people like to do is they will put that tight end on a corner and they're going to run something like this. I'm going to be completely honest, you don't have to do anything defensively to stop this play. We will show you a setup that will help against the running back, because that's the one route that can get open. But I want to show you what this looks like. I'm not going to user anybody either, okay? I'm just going to stay here on the defensive line, run this play, and show you how well it defends something like this, okay? So when they go to say hike, what you're going to see here is we're just going to sit here in the pocket. And if you look, this is pretty much bagged on its own, right? We don't have to do a ton here with our user. Again, I wasn't even doing anything with the user here. What you're going to see is this flat's taken away by the seam flat really easily. The yellow on the side of the trips is going to fake like he's going out to the flat, but then he's going to match this tight end to the corner perfectly, and this is something that people will throw a lot of. Now, outside corner is going to take the fade. The corner over here to the solo receiver side is going to match the post, and our linebacker is going to help underneath with that. Now, you can see that he will come open later in the play. So again, as long as you're getting a good pass rush, this isn't a throw that they can make. But again, the route that we do have to worry a little bit about is this running back on the wheel. There will be times this linebacker stays in front of him and you're going to be able to defend it. But a lot of the times he's going to get a half a step here. You're going to see the linebackers in okay position, but they can lob this over the top and make sure that they get that for a touchdown. Now, what we want to do to adjust to that, right? It's an easy adjustment that's going to take that away and actually help take away that post as well. So if we set up the same route combo here from the offense, all we need to do for this is we're going to put the solo side corner in a deep half. Okay, so it's going to look just like this. I'm going to show you once again, I'm not going to user anybody. I'm just going to user the defensive line, and I want to show you how this defends this play. So again, if they go to say hike, we're just going to sit here. And what you're going to see now is we actually get another added match principle here from our left of screen yellow zone. Okay, so what you're going to see here is now, because we have that deep half over the top, it's going to help protect if he beats our linebacker, right? So if this guy beats our linebacker who's on the seam flat, we now have this corner over the top who is not matching the post anymore, because the deep half is not going to match. We're going to get the same rules to the right side of the field, right? Nothing is changing over here, but to the left side, I want you to see what this linebacker does. On the last play, you know how he took away that first window throw and then he just sat in the middle of the field? Once he knows that this outside corner is not matching the post anymore, he is now going to take this post back to the right side of the screen. So you can see he is taking away this post completely. The safety on the right side is taking away the corner route. The flat is being taken away with the seam flat. And then the running back wheel has essentially a bracket with our seam flat and then a deep half over the top. So again, this is a really popular play that you're going to see out of U-trips. In a simple cover 3 Buzz Mabel, putting that solo side corner on the deep half is a really easy but super effective defense to shut this play down. And if you guys are looking to get even better at Madden, make sure to join our free Discord by going to HuddleGG/Discord. Have a great day.